Hi, my name is Robert Banyan. I'm with the Purple Group for CS1000, and I'm going to be talking about embedded systems and the safety of society and information. Relying on computer systems that do exactly what they've been told to do is risky when the people who you're that are telling them what to do aren't perfect. There's an ever-increasing demand for safety in the world around us, and we've done a pretty good job in general of catering to the need of the individual and society as a whole in the terms of safety. Everything from autopilot on airplanes to circuit breakers, to your lights in your car that come on when things go bad. There's certain things, almost everything electronic has to some degree a safety mechanism or a switch or something that triggers when something goes wrong. It stops people from doing things they shouldn't be doing. It lets you know when something goes wrong. Things like that. But what happens when these switches don't go off, or go off for the wrong reasons, or just the wrong time? They're supposed to go off at 5, but they go off at 4. Or they're supposed to go off when it's daytime, but it goes off when it's nighttime. Things like this, that it starts giving false information, or no information at all. So the FBI once sent out a persons of interest list where had anybody on their watch list, anything from terrorists to people they just needed to bring in for questioning. And they passed this around to all, like, the different departments, who then forwarded that information on to other departments, so on and so forth. And through all this forwarding, it ended up names would be inputted into computer systems incorrectly. And so through these errors, it got to the point where some people would get arrested, sometimes multiple times, and they weren't supposed to be on this watch list. Maybe they were on it at once, but then got taken off, but the new information didn't get out to all the bureaus and departments that it should have, or somebody read a name wrong and input it into the computer system incorrectly. So that's a smaller example, and by smaller I mean it didn't have any real huge social impacts as a nation as a whole, and it definitely affected a few people, but in general it's not going to have long-lasting effects. It's small, like if the IRS overcharges you for taxes or whatever, that's something that can be worked out, blah blah blah. But something that might have long-lasting effects is voting fraud, for instance. Voting fraud's been around as long as voting has, and it used to just be you'd fill out a ballot, or you'd fill out a couple hundred ballots under different names and just kind of pretend, and put them in to try to get somebody elected. Or you'd hide a box of ballots if you knew that this area voted one way and you wanted the other way, so on and so forth. But now we're getting to the point where it's a lot of electronic voting, and so all of this information is stored somewhere, and if someone is tech savvy enough to be able to get into that information and change the numbers, that's something that could have very real and very lasting effects on you, on me, on society as a whole. Something that we'll definitely need to watch out for, and definitely the reason that some of these safety switches need to be implemented.